In this quick cast, we want to show you how to control access to LearnSpace using policies. The goal of LearnSpace is to provide a highly interactive environment where everybody in the room has access to the displays and can do a variety of things with those displays. But occasionally, faculty need to take some degree of control in order to make sure that the conversation and the discussion remains productive and on topic. To do that, we use policies. Here on my desktop, I've got the client running, and I've got two displays represented, classroom display number 1, classroom display number 2, superimposed on my desktop. And I've already got my desktop shared here, as well as a student sharing a web page here. Now, by default, LearnSpace has an open policy. And what that means is I can move my content around. You'll notice that it moved around on the display. But I can also move the student's content around. And conversely, you'll note my cursor's going off to the side. The student can also move my content around as well. The student has equal access. It's an open policy. The student can even end my desktop share session if they want to. But occasionally you want to stop that level of interactivity and limit things a little bit. So what we're going to do is introduce moderation policies. We're going to switch over to the Moderate tab, and I'm going to click Start Moderating. And that'll grant me control of which policies are in place. It'll also ensure that me as moderator always has control to everything that's going on. Now you notice that this looks an awful lot like the Share tab, but we have these 4 modes listed here. There's Open, which is the default policy. There's Individual, which means only individuals can move their own content around. In that case, the student couldn't move my content, they could only move their own. There's Restricted, which means only the moderator can post and move content around at all. If a student or someone else wants to share, that content will actually go directly to the shelf first, and it's up to me as the moderator to decide if I want to post it or not. Finally, there's Exclusive. The exclusive policy effectively locks down the displays. So even if students want to share, it won't even show up here on the shelf. I would do this if I wanted to prevent any distractions and to ensure absolute control of those displays. It's finally worth noting that I can also blank displays. If I don't like what's being shared, or if I just want to momentarily pause, I simply click blank screens one time. You've noticed that the displays have gone black, and when I'm done, I can return to normal sharing. Now let's explore this from the student side. I'm going to go ahead and stop moderating, and I'm going to allow the student laptop to actually take control so you can see the perspective from a student's standpoint. The student is now moderating, is now in control, and I'm going to go ahead and select individual control. Now you'll note that because I'm not the student and the student is moderating, now that individual control is on, there's this lock that appears on top of the student's content. I can't move it around. If I click on it and try to drag, it doesn't go anywhere. I can still move my own content and manipulate my own content, but I have no ability to actually override what the moderator's doing. Let's next look at restricted modes. I've now implemented the restricted mode, and now I can't even move my own content around. I can't move effectively anything around. And if I want to share something, let's say we want to share this region here, that's going to show up as something on the shelf, and there'll be a preview that's associated with that, but I can't actually control that content. The moderator can say, okay, I'm going to get rid of that, I'm going to get rid of the desktop, and I'm going to bring this share over. But I still cannot control it. Finally, let's explore an exclusive share policy. Under this policy, if I want to share something, again such as a region, you note I get an error. Sharing has been disabled by student number 1. That means it's in exclusive mode and only the moderator can share content of any kind. If for any reason I need to take moderation control from someone else, let's say that a student is moderating access and either doesn't know they're not supposed to or is abusing the system, what I can do is actually go to the display server itself, the actual LearnSpace server. So I'm no longer concerned with what's going on here on my desktop. I'm now going to walk over to the machine that's implementing the actual display. Now I've taken control of that machine, and I've double-clicked here onto the LearnSpace splash screen, and I'm going to select Manage. Even though this student is moderating, I want to reserve access for myself. So I'm going to click Reserve Moderate Access. Student 1's access has now been booted. I can select Start Moderating, and now I'm the moderator. That's effectively a safeguard, so if there is ever abuse of the moderating policy, you as the faculty member can walk up to the machine at the front of the class that's running the LearnSpace server and very quickly reconcile that so that you can take control.